Welcome back to our live coverage of Nigeria's 65th Independence Day, and we now turn our focus to the future. What kind of Nigeria should we be working towards in the next 10 years? How do governance, politics, technology, security, and the role of young people shape the future? And joining us here in the studio are three eminent personalities. Of course, on my far left is Dr. Asabe Bashir. She is currently the Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Mariam Babangida Center for Women Development. But she had worn so many caps before getting here.
Yeah.
Of course, she taught at the University of Maiduguri, and then she moved to Borno State House of Assembly.
Yes.
I don't know whether any other lady has moved there since then.
Not yet.
And even before then.
Yes.
So she's the sole member of Borno State House of Assembly. But then she also served as commissioner in so many ministries, about 3 or 4,
Yes, sir.
under the current Vice President, Kashim Shettima. And thereafter, she moved to the House of Representatives.
Yes.
And then, as I said, now Director General of Mariam Babangida Women Development. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
And next to her is Dr. Ekepelle. He's the CEO / founder of TAF Africa, formerly the Albino Foundation. He was the chairman of the Special Committee on Examination Infractions set up by JAM, that is Joint Admission and Matriculation. But he ruffled feathers. This was just about 2 months or less when he came out with boggling findings. So you are welcome to our special package on independence.
Thank you for having me, and happy independence, Nigerians, and happy independence to my 2 beautiful, amazing women.
Including me.
I'm sandwiched in between 2.
Blessed are you.
Beautiful.
Thank God you are very safe because I'm also here.
Yeah.
Yes, and of
Thank
course.
you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you. And of course, next to me is Honorable Irene Awunah-Ikyegh. Ike, yeah, thank you. She's the President League of Women Voters of Nigeria. She's also a Nigerian political activist and advocate for women's inclusion in politics and leadership. I think you have to compare notes with Honorable Asabe Bashir. Okay, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Happy Independence, Nigeria.
Of course, Nigeria since morning, over 7 or 8 hours, the various resource persons together with our anchors here, dwelled so much on nostalgic moments, how we got our independence, what happened thereafter, the coup and all that. Now, where did we get it wrong? All of this have been discussed. The most important thing in this final segment of the program is actually to explore what is the way forward instead of the nostalgic, and then we keep blaming one another. So let me start with you, Dr. Asabe. What do you think as Nigerians we should look after, maybe from tomorrow, because it's actually another phase of our nationhood?
Yes. Thank you very much. Happy Independence, Nigeria. First of all, I want to congratulate all of us. Nigeria at 65. 65 years is a matured age, and by now, Nigeria should be very matured. And what I look out for is inclusive governance, because Nigeria is still not yet there when it comes to inclusivity. Women are seriously left behind in governance. And that is why Nigerian women are clamoring for inclusion. And so many of groups that are neglected. My brother is here, the national president of people with disability. They are also left behind. So what I'm looking at, like you rightly said, we should not be doing the blame game. We should not be blaming each other. We should let the past be bygone. We should look forward and form an inclusive government.
Okay, Doctor.
Well, For me, I totally agree with her, but if you ask me to put on my lenses and begin to look into Nigeria and the way forward, and I like the fact
tomorrow,
that, yes, I like the fact that you're focusing on solution instead of the problem. But we cannot talk about solution without visiting the problem. So what had been Nigerians' greatest problem, if you ask me? Poor leadership. Having the wrong people in the right places. Corruption, bad governance. You can name it. How much have we been able to eradicate poverty? We have people that are below the threshold of poverty. People that you're not sure the next meal is ready for them. You know, for us to be able to do that, we need to understand. And you know, in social development, you do need assessment. So doing a need assessment prepares you for what the solution would look
so
like.
So you're talking about retrospection.
Yes. So there is a solution. Or we can talk about solution.
From tomorrow.
Okay, from tomorrow, as a Nigerian who is proud to be a Nigerian, and I believe in the project Nigeria. I am someone who has always promoted indigenous shape of this country. And I think that what we should do from tomorrow is to ensure that we amplify the strengths in our diversity. The fact that in recent times, Nigeria has been so polarized and across religious and ethnic lines have caused so much in how we make choices of leadership as well. So if you look at the reason why we have not been able to have the desired leadership that will affect and transform the beautiful natural resources that we have had into, taking us out of poverty, it's because the reasons why we vote are not for development. And
so we vote for
we vote for reasons outside capacity to take people out of poverty, and chief among is the religious and ethnic lines. And of course, I always tell my women when we are discussing this topic that when it's time to share the meals, they don't care if you are a Muslim or a Christian. That's the politicians. But when it is time for them to get the votes and put whoever they want to put there, they put up, that joker, and then we fall for it. So as citizens, it is time for us to show patriotism. Let us look at Nigeria as our home, ours. As indigents, let us embrace everyone. I listened to the speakers that talked about... Which is
just an intro, because they are going to also elaborate.
They talked about issues on why federal character was established and why unity schools were established. And why NYC was established. Our forefathers had this, will I say, a focus that Nigeria should remain one. And that is why, irrespective of all the challenges we've been through, like the president mentioned in his broadcast this morning, we remain one. And for us to remain stronger and better, let us demystify playing ethnic cards.
All right,
especially when it comes to choosing leadership. Thank you.
Of course, Honorable Asabe, you are a politician in your own right. Power is not given.
I like that.
Yes, it is taken, but some people say you can grab it. How did you actually navigate the terrain? Coming from, southern part of Borno to get elected into the State House of Assembly, or was it a bonus to say, okay, let's carry them along?
Well, my story of how I won election is a very, very inspiring one because, excuse me, the politics of those days had integrity and leaders were really elected. I tell you, my first appearance in politics was in 99, where my community selected me to represent them in the State Assembly. Of course, there are other candidates in other parties. And of course, you go through the electoral process like primary election and so many things. But my community presented me as their candidate.
But they didn't just pick you.
They did not just pick me. No,
yes.
no.
So, of course.
It has to do with your character that you have built over time. It has to do with how you relate with people. It has to do with that is how you relate with people and the kind of development you bring to your locality. So that's the kind of politics that we used to know. So in those days, you don't have to even say, I want to contest. The community will bring you out.
And I think you are teaching at the University of Maiduguri.
I was teaching at the university.
So you can now see the link. Meaning that it's not picking any other woman in order to say, okay, let's also have a woman in our midst.
No, I won my election credibly.
Okay, now, Doctor.
I'm just going to debunk this concept that power is taken and is not given. Power cannot be served as a la carte. That does not represent a principle that we should promote on the national television, because in actual sense, this is how it works. Power is given to the person in a position by people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Power is given to somebody in a position by people.
Yeah.
Those who are projecting this kind of principle, that power was not given to them. They took it, and they took it by force. Now, let me talk about force and choice. Whenever you take anything by force, you break that thing. Whenever you get anything by choice, you empower that, whether it's individual or institution, you know. And that's one thing that politicians need to understand. You know, power is transient. You know, you cannot grab power by force and think you will keep it. It will break you one day. And unfortunately, it doesn't only break you, it breaks the people around you.
Can we say there is a relationship between what you just said and where we are now? And then, of course, the need to...
The relationship between what I just said and where we are now is that most people in political appointment, in political position, they took the power by themselves and by force. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. That power will be taken from them by the people.
Okay, let me come to you, because as I said, tomorrow should be an entirely different scenario for Nigerians. But then if you look at the figures, they will tell you that we have more women in Nigeria than men. But I am beginning to, at a personal level, to contest that, because I feel if that is anything to go by, then women should decide. You need this campaign, you know, for women voters in Nigeria.
Yes.
What should they do? I'm not talking about why are they not getting it.
Okay. Yes, we will not talk about why we are not getting it. But I have to say that the reason why we are here is because political parties have refused to put women on the ballots. And it is not because within their political parties they don't find women who have the credibility and who have the tenacity to be, you know, nominated as their flag bearers. It is simply because they have planned it in a way that they want women to only play the roles that they have outlined for them to play, which first and foremost is to be the brain behind their technical expertise during their campaigns, to mobilize women and other people to vote for them, and then to vote for them and protect their votes, and sometimes even help them in buying and selling the votes. However, the critical responsibility of leadership within the democratic and political space, they systematically exclude women from there, starting from the leadership in the political parties. You see, political parties, they don't have women as leaders at the world level. When they tell me they have women in their NWC and I ask them, do NWC members vote for people to become House of Rep members or candidates and senators at the world level? No. So at that world level, where we are expected to have more women as leaders in political parties to become automatic delegates who would in turn nominate people to be on the ballot, women are totally excluded. Now, this is why we are now clamoring for a special seat reserved for women, so that we'll just use that as a mitigation, which is actually going to be temporal for 16 years, to have women on the ballot.
And your people are actually asking for more seats, not that any of the 360
no, not at all. These are extra seats, additional to the statutory 3 senators per state and the statutory constituencies for House of Reps and state assemblies. We are asking that for each state, 1 woman senator and 1 woman House of Rep, and then 1 woman each from the 3 senatorial zones for state assembly within the states. This seeks to just increase 37 each at the House of Reps and at the Senate. And this is going to run for only 16 years electoral cycle, just to ensure that women who have been within the political space, have worked for political parties, have built capacity, but then in turn do not have the capacity for the ruffle. I like to call that word because it was sold to me by the Senate President.
Ruffle.
Yes, ruffle.
Maybe it's the corruption that Doctor.
Oh, absolutely, ruffle of political parties. Women who can be elected based on their capacity, tenacity, and integrity should be able to be. I
think this will mature in 16 years, maybe at the first.
Yes, there's also a caveat that says that after 16 years it will be reviewed, and we will see whether we have made gains or if there's need for us to extend it or to discard of it. When we get there, we'll cross the bridge.
Yes, Doctor, is this not cutting corner?
No, I mean, what they're asking for is their fundamental right. It's my only sometimes concern about the strategy that they are deploying, because I believe that strategy is always better than energy.
Strategy
is
better than energy.
Yeah. So if you work strategically, then you don't have to exhaust your energy. So for women, we need to put things into context. I'm a he for she. So I want to see a woman around me become the president and I'll follow. I don't have problem with that. However, you need to check the pathway to victory, whether it is not bumpy. For instance, in the country that we are, believe you or not, and it's not right. However, this is the scenario. If you keep pushing for equality, you won't go too far. Because we're chauvinistic. They are men, which is not supposed to be. Okay? So can we then change the campaign and focus on something that we can use to get men interested? Number 1, pull back, use more men. If more men like me can come out on a national television and say, Honorable Asabe,
but that's what we're doing now.
Yeah. So go ahead and vote them. Yeah. Go ahead and vote them. And I feel comfortable and less insecure to sit back and watch them take the position. So that is one window that I feel that women needs to explore. Do they have the right for what they are asking for? Yes. Will they do better than men? Somehow. We've seen them manage home effectively. Can we shelve our religious bigotry and allow women to emerge as leaders? We should. But they also have a responsibility to tweak their strategy and stop going in the face of a man and say, I want the same position with you. All right? They will find resistance. So what to do? Okay, we're here. We have a balanced guest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is fairness. That's what equity is all about.
And that's what if I in Daily Trust here, it's like we have more women than men. But let me take it to Dr. Bashir. You are the leader of Nigerian women.
Yes, sir.
Because the institution you head is so strategic to understanding, planning, and then even if it amount to lobbying or whatever, for women to be heard. Is there anything you found on assumption of office as impeding
setbacks?
Exactly, impeding the progress of women, and have you changed it?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, as the name depicts, National Center for Women Development, it speaks for itself. This is a place that we want to help to upskill women capacity. You will agree with me that if you look down the memory lane over time, we have always complained of non-inclusion in the scheme of things, be it school, education, be it anything at all, women were relegated to the background. So many of our women were not in the limelight. So many did not go to school. So, and over time, there has been agitation for inclusivity, women empowerment, inclusion, all these things. And there must be a mechanism for these women to find a way where they can place themselves. Yeah. We at the center were into skills. We teach women skills. We train women. So those that have fallen out of school, or as an educationist too, there are people that have skills that are not really good at the formal education, or there's interest. Someone will be very interested in skills. So you must give them equal opportunity for them to showcase their potentials. So that is why we give training in different vocational skills for women, so that whether you are sitting at home, or you are the outgoing type, or you one that have fallen out of school, or the one that is interested in skills, you will come here and we upscale you and get the required training, and so that you can carry on with your own life.
And okay, I think I'll jump in,
Okay.
Ma. I think this is phenomenal work you're doing.
Yes.
Don't dismiss the fact that you are a political role model.
Yeah, thank you.
And you need to invest in mentoring other women.
She's doing that.
Yeah. But however, let me add a curriculum to what you're already doing.
Okay.
Political awareness. Political awareness can be taught, and it becomes a skill set. And I think the center needs to also focus on political awareness, and some of us will support you.
In fact, we have a resource. We have a resource center
on
that
political awareness.
Yes.
But Irene, how enlightened do you think our women should be? Because anytime when it is time for collection of voter card, or even going out to vote, you see more women. If women, get to the polling booth after finishing everything at home, giving food to the man
family
at the helm of affairs, the children and all that, but they still go to the polling booths much earlier.
And be the last to leave there.
Yes, but they can't. It's like they don't really get what they voted for.
Well, that's another conversation, whether they get what they voted for or not. But what I want to say is that as the president of League of Women Voters, we vote what we see on the ballot. And most of the times, we don't see women on the ballots. That is number one. I want to say to what Mr. Jeggs, respond to what he said,
yes.
The Center of Women Development has a full technical place for building women politicians. And it was supported by UN Women, and it's a very viable place where even on this campaign, we have been, in partnership with the center. The center has been supporting technically and otherwise to see that what is required to see that this campaign for more women in National Assembly, is achieved. And very most importantly, you can see that this bill is coming to the National Assembly for the second time. The last time it was championed by Right Honorable Nkiru Onyojecha. And this time around, the men are the ones who are leading. So that strategy you said is already in place. And if you look at those who are working with us technically, who are engaging the House of Rep members and the senators in advocacy, most of them are men. We the women are using our platforms and organizations to ensure that we amplify the work these men are doing. Because the last time we discovered that we left the whole work to the National Assembly, the bill first and foremost did not have popularity, it did not have the buy-in of citizens. This time around we held town halls in each senatorial zone in Nigeria. We got signatures for endorsements and memorandums, which were submitted over 1 million at the national public hearing, in the leadership of our DG, Dr. Asabe Bashir. Now, I want to say that why we don't get what we want at the polling units, it's because we vote what we see at the polling units. And because we are committed people and we are citizens that know our civic responsibility, even even if those who are nominated end up not being the people we want, because we want democracy to strive, and we believe that by having leadership that we put there by ourselves, we'll be able to engage them and have policies put in place that will expand the space and allow more women to come in and engage. Now, we do not want to take over the space. You know, we just want to be part of leadership. That's to fair. Be in the room so that nothing will be done about us without us. And for instance, somebody said that a country that is flying with one hand, a bird or an aircraft flying with one hand, we never be able to fly high. If you look at the indices, the GDP, the economic growth of countries that are led by women or have predominantly women in parliament, you know, they are obviously very high. And then the growth pace is also very fast. You know, so vis-a-vis we, Nigeria, that even in Africa, out of 200-something countries, we are 178 at the radar as regards to women inclusion in governance.
Which is really an unfortunate scenario.
Very unfortunate, and it's also not just unfortunate, it also affects us economically.
Okay, but I like this conversation about women. Okay. I know you're the one anchoring the show, but let me touch on two things that women, because I'm very passionate about them, all right? Two things that they have to be very cautious. Number one, it is often said that you test before you trust. Most of these men that you're seeing now that are pursuing it also can pursue it for their own political agenda. As I see myself as supporting women, they will use it to get vote. You have to dig in, do an introspective search to ensure that the person that is Jake that is telling you I support women, the day of casting of that vote, that Jake will vote. That's number one. Number two, and you may disagree with me, women sometimes are the cause of their own problem. The person who mobilized that women that you see that went to polling youth, he's a woman like you, but he's mobilizing it for a man.
Okay, now let me put
it. Is that truth?
Okay, Doctor, let me put it this way, because of course it's like, because you also yes, Doctor, you are with me, right? Yes, you also lead a serious constituency. Are you also not looking for more than what should be given? Because I know that people with disability, in a way, they also want special seats. Of course, you have achieved in getting, legislation. Any office, like here when you come, is easier. Even if someone is on wheelchair or whatever, he can have access. If it is an airport, special provision. But it's like you people are also pushing.
Yeah, we are. And I want to believe we will succeed. We will succeed because people like me and several others, we pulled back and began to sort of study the process and what we want as a product. Our finding shows that I'm just giving you letting the cat out of the bag. Our finding shows that there are people that would eventually stand on TV, standing before the camera and say, look, I support disability, people with disability and all that. So we are trying to dig deeper to know who truly have our interests at heart. You know, that's one. Number two, understanding how the workability of legislation in the Legislative Assembly. We just came back from World Disability Summit. Intentionally, I found a partner who made sure that certain members of the National Assembly, including the Speaker of Office and the Deputy Speaker of Office, we took them on a totally paid trip. And they saw how other countries were doing these things, you know, and they're coming back fulfilled that, look, we need to do this, you know. So I did say that sometimes women are the cause of their problems, you know, and all that. Which is true.
Okay, let's throw it to
and some of them,
Asabe,
some of them that have achieved a position, instead of stepping back and help others, the moment they get there, they forget that they are women.
But I think Honorable Asabe will come.
Let's talk about that next time.
And that maybe yes,
not all.
But to add to what he said, it is believed that foundationally, we have missed the road. And where is the foundation? Home. Who are in charge of home?
Women.
Now you talk about drug abuse, we talk about children not going to school, we talk about young girls taking the other route and all that. The whole blame, goes to women.
No, you cannot say the whole blame.
No, I'm just saying this is what society is saying. Maybe you will counter that narrative.
You see, this is a very sensitive question that you're asking.
Yes.
Because the reason why our children are derailing is a societal issue.
Yes.
If you provide jobs for everybody, people will be occupied doing something. They will be working. There will not be, idle. They say idle mind is devil's workshop. If everybody goes to school comfortably, and they will be taught, and there will not be an idle mind that devil will venture into. So don't blame the women and if that's why we are saying that educate the girl child, because I want to compare an educated mother can never allow her child to derail.
It's very unlikely.
Sorry?
I say it's very unlikely.
It's very unlikely. Very, very. Because an educated woman will, in fact, she will manage the child even more than the father. Because the father only gives, he said, take this for school fees. But it's mother that is the manager.
And he believes that he has done his part, giving the money.
Exactly.
And all that.
So that is why we're agitating for girl child education. If all mothers are educated, there is no way children will derail. So it's a societal issue. Give jobs for everybody, make provision that every graduate or everybody at whatever level will find something to do. Take children off the street, provide for, give the girl child priority for education so that all mothers are educated. So they will educate, they will see their children through when they are growing. You understand? So these are the something. It's a societal issue. It has nothing to do with mothers.
In some countries, honorable, very funny. China, its current dispensation, I think they are just 11 years ahead of Nigeria, 1949.
True.
Even though leaders back home here, if you tell them that, okay, see how China is. We're talking about here, because sometimes they hide under that we are overpopulated. But China is
are we more populated than China?
1 billion, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Now,
the most populated.
probably most of us have been there.
Yeah, all of us.
But now,
I
look at how things are working there. I want to know from your impression of what is happening there, and then it's just 11 years difference, because 1949, 1960. Theirs was also, I think, October or something.
Okay, again, let me build on what the DG said. Building on people's skills is what China did. China took advantage of their numbers and made sure that every individual was empowered to take advantage, use their hands, their skills, their capacity, their mental capacity to do one thing, to ensure that they bring something to the table, either through production, through adding value to what is being produced, through manufacturing, or even getting the raw materials for what they want to produce. Now, it is until when we Nigerians or our leaders start looking inwards to say, let us take advantage of Nigeria. Nigeria is a great nation with enormous human capacity. Talented people. If you go to the best hospitals in the world, are manned by Nigerian doctors. Yeah. If you go now in tech, where we talk about tech, the best tech engineers around the world are Nigerians.
But then back home
here, there is no enabling environment. There's no plan. There's no national plan to invest in Nigerians that are talented like this.
Is it that we don't really believe that we have a country? Don't you think this is also
I had in my open statement, I talked about patriotism, putting Nigeria first, and that will amount to development. If we put Nigeria first and say that for every individual who is a Nigerian, should be the environment should be made available for him or her to be able to excel and achieve all his or her potentials, Nigeria will be a great country.
Doctor, your most latest assignment on, you came out with mind-boggling findings. For instance, you said finger blending. I don't know what is finger blending. Because they told us during our days in secondary school biology that everyone has this. And nobody shares this.
Yes.
So what is finger blending? You said you discovered 4,200 cases. You discovered 190 cases of AI-assisted image morphing. You discovered 1,878 false claims of albinism, credential forgery, multiple national identification number. What is really wrong? I mean, and do you think, because honestly, I am tailoring this conversation to the solution, because since morning we've been lamenting.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting this. I would, first of all, whatever I'm going to share here is my personal opinion. It's not the opinion of JAM. It's not the opinion of Federal Ministry of Education. I am humbled and honored to lead the best brain in education sector. I have several vice chancellors in my committee, DSS, NAN, National Security Advisor's Office, the police. It was a very huge committee. Our focus was to find out what malpractices have been going on specifically in JAM. And it is true that what we found out is mind-boggling, you know, and I'll try and relate it to even the discussion that we're having. Shockingly, 80% of the infractions were caused by parents. Parents, most of them women, mothers, most of them
you
men.
are at their center here.
Yeah, most of them. See, I'm choosing my word, men and women. These are parents that would sponsor their children, sponsor somebody to go and take examination for their children.
But don't you think maybe it is the father at home who actually directed the woman
I don't know who
to
did.
accompany the child?
I don't know who did, but we caught fathers and children trying to manipulate the system. We caught mothers and children trying to manipulate the system. Let me zero in on what you asked me. Finger blending. I'm not a very good technologist, but I love technology. Okay, so the biometrics, what JAM would do is that you have to put, when you're registering, put your finger, okay? But these people, knowing fully well what they want to do with these examination takers, would take, for instance, my finger. Once I place it, the next person could be somebody who is going to write the exam for me. He comes with also his own fingers. The computer will recognize all the fingers. So I would go in, and that person will go in. Sit in one place. One person is writing the exam. The other person is pretending to write the exams.
I really want to understand this.
So, wow.
How do you mean? You said, okay, if I am the candidate, but somebody is with me to do the manipulation.
Okay, so
and then the machine is here.
In a layman language.
Yes.
Okay, if you bring your system now, and what it requires is that I have to put my finger to authenticate
that it is
that I am
the candidate.
My identity. Okay, so two people have already done that with a plan
at registration level.
Yes, to go in and take exams. The real examination taker, you understand, will also do his fingerprint. So both of us, you know, so we'll blend and both of us will come in at the same time. That's not just the issue. They took about 1,878 persons with albinism because the biometric camera lowers our retina, okay? So they can easily manipulate it. How? They take your face, half of your face, take half of my face, and then the person will blend your color into my color that allows him to get into the CBT and take exams. That's not the end. The CBT is controlled by JAM. So JAM has a camera where they see what is going on and all that. These guys, what they do is that when they send you the code, which on the URL that allows you to get into your computer system, these guys, assuming that this is my computer system, okay, what they would do is, as soon as they send you the code, okay, you open this system. There is what they have as strong room. So there's a group of these merchants, cartel, doing that exam for virtually all the 200, 300 students. Yeah. So what they'll do is that they mirror this phone, and they will have access to what I'm doing. So in order not to be caught, they will tell me to keep moving my mouse. So it will look like I am the one doing, but the person who is writing the exam is in another office, closed environment. Sometimes when it becomes too difficult, they will take toilet roll and close the camera. So they call them, what is going on? Say, they don't know it's network. They have shut off. It's a whole bunch of mess. You know what? I want to believe that 10% or even 20% or 30% of all the certificates you see peddling around in Nigeria are fake. There are universities that were offering fake certificates.
We did a report recently. Doctor,
yes, sir.
I don't know, and I don't think you actually climbed the ladder through dubious means. You got up to PhD level in university. Why are parents desperate? And in the next 10 years, what do you think mothers, fathers, uncles, and all that should actually concentrate on? Because if you look at the energy that Doctor spoke about, that is channeled to do this fraud, imagine if it is channeled to do the right thing.
Yes. First of all, I am my heart bleeds about what is happening with our education system. I haven't heard what is happening with our JAM examination. I condemn it, and I want to start with the government. What is happening is that I want the government to make sure that they strengthen the public schools.
Bam.
Public schools.
Public schools.
Yes.
Because majority of our children go to public schools. Very few are privileged to go to private schools. So if we have good teachers, I went to public school. If I tell you my story, I went to a school in a remote village.
For primary
school. I sat exams. I did not even know what it meant. I didn't even have never heard of unity school. That time was you just write exam and leave it to the examiners.
And your parents would not even follow.
My parents didn't know. My parents are not educated.
Was working.
My parents are not educated. So one day they came from my local government, the education officer came to my village, to my school, to look for me that I had an interview in another state, federal government college. That is what it meant to be this thing. You just call by your name, you go to they identify by your name and school and whatever it is.
Nobody cares about your color or your religion or the village you
So I want the government to strengthen public schools, please. When the schools are strengthened, you have good teachers, you have all it takes, all computer, all these things that come out during exam, JAM, this thing, they prepare the students that go to public school very well for JAM. I think there will not be need for all these things. You understand? Because those that go to private school, what they would like, they are the ones that are really passing exams. Those that go to public school, they don't pass this exam. So that is why they go out of their way to do all what they are doing. So it starts with our government. Strengthen the public schools, number one. Number two, the parents should also concentrate on the education of their children. Whatever it takes, it is their whole responsibility to educate this child. That is why we should compare our country with other developed countries. You give birth to 2 or 1 child that you can take care of. When you have 7, 8, 9, 10, how do you concentrate on education these 9, 10 children? We have gotten there now. Before, we are not densely populated. But with this population of Nigeria now, we have to find a way. Even the China that you are talking about, when they were overpopulated, there was a policy that you cannot give birth, you can only give birth to 1 child. That's how they controlled the population.
They reversed it.
They reversed it, yes, now, because they are not taking care.
When I visited last year, I discovered that there are families with up to 3 because they realized
that they have reversed, but after years.
They now have more than enough to actually
They reversed it because
they have now developed now.
Taking over in terms of population.
Yes.
India has more population than Chinese.
Yes.
But you see, Doc, the problem is not much about strengthening systems or institution. Yes,
but you know she's an educationist.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I've been in National Council on Education all my life, 16 years.
Okay.
You
what is the problem?
I've done like 7 policies for the country.
Okay.
You know? I led the team, not like I wrote it by all myself. The problem begins with us individual. no matter how much technology you invest in this studio, if you don't invest in the people that will run those technology, it can be abused.
How do you mean?
Okay, so let me drill it down.
I wanted to say, how do you invest in it?
Okay, let me drill it down.
Yes.
Okay, what we found out is not that JAMB doesn't have the capacity to do the exam. As a matter of fact, I want to be very honest with you, you know, as a matter of fact, we found out that JAMB has the best system in Africa. The best system, technology, yes, in Africa. We did benchmarking. So we couldn't find any other examination body in Africa that matches what JAMB has.
But you have to tell students that will see for those that will match those
exactly. So we moved to the America and Europe. And to be honest with you, they stood a chance.
Are you talking about if you say investing on people?
I'm relating to
high
first
issue.
To say that what she said is right. You understand? Okay. But it's not the beginning. The beginning is us as individuals. We need reorientation. Our mindset towards the beating systems.
Okay, I didn't just at the beginning.
I have been saying let us be
patriotism. Patriotism.
What causes this?
Pardon?
What causes the beating? Why do you need to beat the system?
Okay, maybe Irene will answer this, Doctor. Let me.
I would also say that I will first and foremost agree that we need to strengthen the education system. I was born into an education family. You know, so I know I was midwifed by educationists, you know, a primary and a secondary school. My tinubu Nursery and Primary School, Makurdi, was the first nursery and primary school in Benue Plateau State, you know, owned by my parents, and then Padupas Hamley Secondary School. So I know that we need to strengthen public schools. And the budget line in our national budget for education needs to be critically looked at.
Maybe it should become first-line charge?
Yes, first-line charge, as a matter of fact. You hear people say Nigerian graduates are unemployable. It starts from where the DJ is talking about. The population that attends these public schools is larger than those that attend the private schools. Now, if you go to the true situation of public schools now, starting from the quality of teachers that we have. Secondly, the teaching aids that are available. Thirdly, we still have schools in this country in the 21st century that students are studying under trees without exercise books, that are solving mathematics on bare ground in this country, where milk is flowing and honey is flowing left, right. Now, if we don't start from the bottom, we won't be able to achieve. People who are prone to do such malpractice, who go out of their way, first and foremost, look at the orientation of their own parents. They apparently came into the same way. They also were not opportune to go to, you know, proper schools. They cut corners. They got where they were. They had the resources to also cut corners for their children. And this is coming back to the issue of educating the girl child. When we educate a girl child, you educate the nation. Yes. If the population of Nigerian women, the men that are educated, vis-a-vis that of the women are the same, we won't be where we are. Look at schools that have been manned by female principals, vis-a-vis schools that have been manned, even the unity schools that have been manned by male principals. There's a way. A woman don't just teach you to pass exams. They mold you. They midwife you to greatness. They are detailed about your, not just your academics, your morals, and your integrity. It is, maybe I would say God built women like that. We are thorough and detailed.
But you know, of course, there are many questions over some women who actually led some of this.
I didn't disagree with them about strengthening system. And I'm saying, first thing first. I know of a university, and I'm not going to mention name, that the vice chancellor, you know, is a woman, and the reports I'm getting is mind blowing. There's admission scandal.
It's one in a million.
Okay. So it happens with men. I agree. Okay. But here's my thing. What we found out and I'm talking empirically from my report, what we found out was most children doing this thing is either they are not aware their parents are instigating them to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I said it.
In other places, we also found parents that have been deceived by their children to do this. We saw CBT centers that were advertising. How can you advertise that your child who have F9 will suddenly score 380, 400 over 400?
They're advertising criminality.
They're advertising that, and some of them call their centers Miracle Center. So once you come, your child will pass. The parents don't take time to ask, how will you do this? You know the litmus test. They tell them to pay more. So each child sometimes pay 250,000 naira, 1 million. There are many students in university that are going to school. You know, they came through the back door. They would not write any exam. You will see them in hall, the dancing away their life. But when they come out, they want to be first class. How did they get the first class?
Doctor, you're an educationist. Yes, that is your line. Is it that we misstep in terms of approaching, education and productivity? It's like here in Nigeria, we attach more preference to certification.
Yes.
Because, as we said, if you go to India now, you go to Malaysia, there are many students after secondary school,
finish.
And it's like they are inferior. But then they took a line. I mean, okay, I want to be a technician. And that is why they are well employed and all that. Will you advocate that Nigeria should maybe have a rethink?
I call it certificate of certificate.
Yes.
Certificate and certificate.
Thank you very much. We never knew that we will get to this place, because nobody knows that you will sink and you go ahead to go and sink.
Yeah.
So now that we have known that we are getting it wrong at the beginning, it is time to look back, and see where we're getting wrong, and it is not too late to make corrections. Nigerian problem is not too large that cannot be controlled. And we have all that it takes to do these corrections.
Absolutely.
I just want to appeal to government again that we should look at what the memory lane, look at where we're getting wrong with view to correcting our all these things that have negative effects on our education system.
Now, because we are running short, we have less than 3 minutes, I want to ask you, in line with the question I asked, now Nigeria is about to procure tablets, that is small computers, to replace chalk, to replace book. And only God knows how many billions will be dedicated to that. Is that the right direction?
No, at all.
Well, you see, for me, I am a proponent of technology, but I'm also much more a proponent of adaptive technology. Most of the children that will be given that tablet does not know how to use it. They won't know how to use it. Some will even go out and sell it. So there's a need, first and foremost, to do a proper assessment of our education sector. I think I want to use this opportunity to call on the president to declare a state of emergency in the education sector. Because, brother, listen, I called and I'll mention them. Professor Yalapitasai, who is a lecturer in University of Pennsylvania, one Nigerian that is doing us proud, okay? He told me, he said, Jake, listen, every Nigerian now that comes to America to present any Nigerian certificate, they don't touch it. What they will do is that, okay, so you want to be admitted in our school, they will subject them to writing examination. In fact, there's a story of one Nigerian that physics and mathematics, he scored 100%. So as he was on his way out of the gate of the university, they called him back.
All right, 1 minute, because
how did you score this?
How do we now solve the problem? I wanted us to actually also discuss economy and all that, but time not on our side. Moving forward in terms of education, should government have a rethink, even though we have a new curriculum? This should be less than 1 minute.
Yes, let's not just build curriculums, on like a lot of curriculums have come and gone.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste, and we have not been able to, explore what Nigerians can do for themselves. Now, I'm a promoter of skills and acquisition. There's a lot that Nigerians can, provide to, to expand our economy. Our major problem is that we don't have a strong economy. Okay. And if we have a strong economy, we'll be able to, pay and do for a lot of other things. So our education system should be all-inclusive. Let us give room for people who can use their hands. Let us give room for people who...
We should pay them very well.
You pay them very well. And de-emphasize these certificate issues, especially the fact that even those that school in Nigeria sometimes with the same certificate that will be brought from abroad in any kind of university, even if it's here in Ghana, the person is paid and then placed above someone who have gotten a certificate in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Honorable Irene Awunah, President League of Women Voters of Nigeria, for your informed perspective and happy independence anniversary.
Thank you very much, Hamza, for having me.
Dr. Jack Bele, CEO, TAF Africa. We thank you for coming, and we want to commend you for the wonderful job you did.
I think everything rises and falls on leadership. Let's invest in quality leadership.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Asabe Bashir, the woman who wears so many caps, thank you for coming, and we hope to have you some other time.
Thank you very much.
And it was just a wrap.